Welcome, guys, to our next amazing episode in the Gettingly Comfortably Uncomfortable podcast. And today I am joined by one of the most amazing women I have ever met in my life. And we are going to talk today about how to be an absolute 5-star client. So, Linda, tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, I'm Linda. I've been with Vanda 3 years now.
Just coming up, yep.
Yep. And I reached out to Vanda. I had been training for a number of years. I had 2 previous PTs before that. One who was amazing, one not so amazing.
Yep.
Good at what they did, but I needed more.
Not a fit.
And I wanted more. And I'd been watching you at your previous place you were, and spoke to you one day. You were doing those window wipers, was very impressed with that.
Oh,
and you and I
thank you.
had a chat, and I reached out. I just wanted so much more. So I hit the gym when I was 25, I wish. When I was 52, I joined the gym.
Amazing.
And the reason I joined the gym was about my mental health.
Yep.
Still about my mental health. I've had 2 very serious bouts of depression that broke me big time, and made me not want to be here at all. And being in those very dark places.
Really dark places, yeah.
Very hard on myself, as you know,
You
Vanda.
are?
So I tend to be hard on the people round about me. But I think that comes from being a stubborn git, I suppose.
Stubborn, you? Just be smidgen.
Just be tiny. Very
Most stubborn
stubborn
person that I know.
I'm stubborn on myself, but with a heart of gold, I'll do anything for anybody. I'll support
Absolutely
anybody.
agree.
But I have 2 grown-up children.
Yep.
I'm married.
2 amazing children.
I've got 2 fantastic children. So I'm now at the stage of my life where I'm looking after me a bit more.
You are that.
Because I'm not selfish.
Nope.
It's about me. I can't be the best me unless I look after me.
Totally correct.
I'm triple 20 now. And I definitely...
I'm a 39 plus 1. She's a triple 20.
And the gym has done so much for me.
Yep.
Joining you has done so much for me.
But
you know that. You know that I'm very upfront and honest. What's the word you use, Vanda? Chin?
Yeah.
That I chin you now and again.
Linda likes to chin me every now and again for things that either she just doesn't want or she just doesn't like or she just wants to have a rant about in the best of ways. And we're going to touch on that in a bit.
Yeah. But just the kind of change in the style of training and back to training that I used to do. I've had a few injuries. Yep. A huge injury that really kind of...
It really threw your brain more than your body, didn't it?
Yeah, I think smart training was the word you used.
Yeah, I did ask you to be smart about your training, didn't I?
I'm not very smart. I certainly wasn't very smart during that time. I certainly wasn't very pleasant during that time sometimes to you, because I was... There
was some moments.
Oh, we definitely had our moments.
Yeah.
Amazing. But... yeah.
We're in a good place now, aren't we?
I'm in a good place now. My head's in a good place.
Yep.
I feel
Injury-free?
Injury-free. I've turned a huge corner, especially since January.
Yep.
Mentally, physically, I've turned a huge corner. Done 2 photo shoots that I would never ever thought that I would ever do.
Both were amazing.
Still nerve-wracking, but I thoroughly enjoyed them, I have to be honest. Just gives you another wee kind of string to your bow, just makes you want more.
That
pushes
little
you a wee
bit more
further.
all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we are talking 5-star client. So there's a couple of things that we are going to touch on today. Now, for those of you watching, the first thing I want to say is a 5-star client isn't about being 5-star in comparison to someone else. It's about being 5-star in your own independent right. There is no coach out there in the world that's worth their salt that wants to compare you to another client within their client base. But the fact of the matter is in order to be 5-star and be the very best client and the very best you that you can be, there are certain aspects of how you need to act, behave, address things that are going to be universal across the board for everyone. And the first one that I want to talk about, because I think it's such an important thing, is engagement and communication with your coach, but also with yourself. And I think people are going to be really interested to find out the style and level of engagement and communication that we have, because actually I think that's probably one of the biggest shocks that you had joining me, was my expectation of how we engaged and conversed with each other. So let's use one big example. In terms of the level of transparency that we have with each other, how shocking was that at the beginning?
When you and I first, because I had reached out to you before I actually joined you.
You did.
Just really get a
feel
of you and a feel of us together. Because I thought from that first initial hi, oh my God, can't believe you've done that. I was shouting down the gym to you.
You were. It was amazing.
Shouting down the gym. Oh my God, what are you doing, lassie? But I just felt that you and I were a fit.
Yes.
And I watched you were clients and everything else, and I thought, okay, at some point I think that's the road I'm going to go. But when you and I had our initial meeting, you were very upfront. You and I didn't talk about money, anything else. You spoke about your expectations of me, of yourself, what you expected from me. You sent me all the stuff that I read back to front. You know, I read stuff back to front, Vanda. You know, I asked you 20 million questions.
In so much detail. She loves to learn.
But I think that initial meeting made me go, okay, I'm ready for this. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also think it came at a time where it was right for me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Where it became kind of my time.
Yep.
I had been used to training by myself. I had a busy job, a job that I no longer do anymore after taking early retirement. So that was a huge mind fake.
It was.
And huge mind fake, just losing that continuity in my day, that routine of my day. So the gym for me and being with you and the training that we do has been a bit of my saviour and given me something really to kind of focus on. So my routine is different. I maybe have a wee bit more spare time than other folk, but I've still committed to other stuff. It's not just that, oh, she's got all the time in the world. I generally don't. There's other stuff that I still need to be doing in my day, in my life. And, the gym is just part of what I do.
And when we spoke about things like your routine and stuff like that, I think that was like a really big shock to you. I remember you kind of looking at me one day as if, why the fuck are you asking me that? And me saying, right, okay, but here's where I can do my job 10 times better if I truly understand where your head is at. Because you went through that phase, as you touched on. So you went from being someone who was in a busy working profession, but actually for you, unlike a lot of other people, you'd been in that profession with a very, very similar routine, regardless of what setting you'd been in. The routine of your setting was very similar for the vast majority of your working life. For you then to be in a position where you had the thought process of that routine was literally going to, within one day,
change,
just disappear. And me saying, right, okay, when it comes to your programming, your time with me, what you want from your time with me, what you want from your time in the gym separately, what you want for your goals, what does that mean in terms of your new routine? And you doing, well, I just, like, I still want those goals. And I'm like, yeah, right. But when you wake up in the morning, you're used to going to work, and your work means that you've done 14,000 steps, you've had a designated lunch hour, you've had a designated start and finish time, and then suddenly those are all gone. What do you want our new routine to look like that's actually going to support you? And you were just like, what? So you want me to tell you? And I'm like, yeah, I want you to tell me.
Yeah.
Because I think you expected me to just say, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and that's just going to be it.
Exactly. Because it really, I think it's taken me until maybe middle of February for me to kind of relax into this new role of mine.
I would agree. Yeah, I think
really
February was a big turning point for you. Yeah.
It's taken me this long.
Yeah.
I miss the routine in the day. I miss the continuity in my day.
Yeah.
I miss the company in my day. I'm quite a chatty person. I do like to train by myself because that's what I'm used to. But I think it's because I had such a busy working life, busy home life, that my me time was the gym.
Yeah.
It was different when I trained with Lisa because Lisa and I got on. It was different again when I trained with Scott.
Yeah.
It wasn't every day. It was only during those training times. It's like when I'm with you. When you and I had the conversation away in the beginning, I was like, I don't want your classes.
Yep.
They don't interest me.
And that was totally cool.
If people want to do that, that's just not my thing.
Yep.
I do my own stuff and I quite like that. I quite like that you were very flexible in that. There was nothing that was like, no, you need to do that.
Like, this is the only plan and that's what you're going to do. Yeah, I get that.
You were very flexible in what...
We speak about what works for you, not someone else.
No, we talk...
Linda?
All the time.
We do.
And I'm very upfront. I think you and I are very honest. I think you have to be very... There's no point me coming to you, Vanda, going, oh, that plan was lovely. I'll really enjoy it. I'm going to give it a bash. If there's something that is not a fit for me, then you and I have that conversation.
And what I love about that is that exact point. So I think a lot of people assume that a plan is created by a coach just to achieve a goal without the person in mind. But the thing is, for example, the other day, we spent a good solid 18, 19 minutes of a session going through multiple variations of tricep work to find out what one was going to fit you best, based around two big things. One, you. The biggest one, your body, your reactions, how your sensations worked, your feelings, your body shape, everything there. But then second of all, what was then available to you in your commercial setting when you do your sessions out with me? Now, we could have literally spent those 18, 19 minutes on something absolutely different. But for the next 11 weeks of your program, you could have been doing something that you got less sensation from, you didn't enjoy as much, and actually going into your commercial gym, you had very little access to what worked for you. But actually, us taking that 20 minutes aside and doing that has then meant that the next 11 weeks, you've got something that really works for you. But I think that that's where that level of communication, as we talk about, I don't think that people understand how important it is as a client that you open up to that level and not just assume that your coach just wants you to take the plan and just act if it's not feeling like it works.
I have watched people be trained for years. Nothing major changes. Their mindset doesn't change. Physically, they don't change. Whatever, it doesn't change. Just the same thing. Just the same thing over and over. It's just the same training. There's no a tweak. I love a tweak.
She loves a tweak.
I love a tweak. I love when you go, if you can't use that, do this instead. If you can't get to that machine, try this. Go and do that. I love that. Don't do that there. Do it at the flies. Try that. There's 20 million variations of one thing, and I love that I'm going, oh, I don't need to do that. Oh, I'm going to give that a bash. But you and I talk about our plan all the time. I'm trying, Vanda, I'm trying. You know I'm trying. Not just to go, what the hell is this you're giving me the day?
Linda is working on not having gut reactions.
Not being so reactive.
And not being so reactive to things that she is not
I think I'm trying that really hard.
Or just seeing bench in her programme.
I mean, I didn't give you paracetamol for nothing, you know.
Linda stoated in one day with paracetamol and said, I just wanted to give you this because I fully appreciate that I am a pain in the ass. And I said, you're not a pain in the ass, but I'll take the paracetamol.
But I think if I wasn't a pain in the arse, I wouldn't be. doing what I'm doing.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't be seeing the results.
You would.
I don't think that anybody should just give you a plan and expect you just to go and do it.
No.
And then you come back in 12 weeks and says, I hated that.
Yeah.
There's no point in that. Your plan, there maybe be
Needs to
4
work
or
for you.
5 that are all similar, but they're different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it has to be individual to that person. So there's no point in me saying, Vanda, I love bench, because you know that's never,
She fucking hates bench.
never, sorry Lisa, it's never, ever going to come out my mouth. Never,
I
never.
changed it to close grip over
Yeah.
the best, and she still
Yeah.
told me to fuck off.
Still hate it if it's got the B in it. I don't like it at all. I've never liked it. It's my Achilles heel. I don't like it. It's not the thing that would make me go, I must try that a wee bit harder. No.
But here's the difference of
I'm
being a
trying.
5-star client.
Yeah.
When we had the conversation about, okay, you have goal X, and actually having a little bit of bench in that program is going to give you X, Y, and Z steps towards the goal that
Yeah.
you want. This is why this is how we're going to do it. This is how I've managed to keep your bench to a minimal. But actually, we've also then put in X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
and this is round this, and this is round that. And I said, right, so here's what I'm going to say. If you want X, I'm going to have some form of bench in
Yep.
there, right?
Yep.
So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to put your bench in. I'm going to put it in on the day with one other thing that you fucking love. And I'm just going to expect you to do it, mate.
Yep.
Because actually, I want you to achieve that goal.
Yep.
And I really want you to do it. Your answer to me was, explanation makes sense. Thank you very much. I will do it.
Yep.
That's the difference between a 5-star client and a client who's going to take 3 times the amount of time to get to their goal.
Yep.
Because they're not accepting that we need the level of communication, 100%, but also where there is absolute purpose, sometimes we need to do things that we don't want to do.
Yep. And I think the thing is, I think that's why you need to be, you can't wait a week, Vanda. You cannot wait a week to post something and ask a question. You ask the question there
In
and
the
then,
moment, yeah.
or the next time you see you. I mean, most of our sessions start with me asking 20 million things, or asking, remember, let me finish this.
Remind me to ask you
I've
about
got
this. Yep.
I've got this to
Yep.
ask, because I want to learn as much as I can. It's my body. I'm putting my body through some crazy stuff sometimes.
And it feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, some days it does. But I want to know, if you give me something, and I always say to you, let me try it first. Let me work on that program, and then I'll come
And
back.
then the next week we come back, we
has-
sit down, we do that dissection.
Yep.
We figure out what you've loved, what's
Yep.
gone well, what you've maybe found that you want more time direct with me on.
Yep.
Because you've maybe felt like you could get more out of it,
Yep.
or you've maybe been a little bit like impure, I don't have access to X, Y, and Z, what can I use instead, or what can we do instead? But we have that lively conversation.
Yep.
So in terms of communication, what's the one sentence that you would say to someone to be the absolute best client for their self and for their coach? What's that one thing you would tell them about communication?
I think you need to be asking the questions.
Love that. Ask the fucking question. Stop waiting about on someone giving you the answer. When it's in your head, ask the question there and then.
Yep.
And just to add on to the back of that for everyone watching, and we're going to jump onto it in a second, one of the biggest things with an alpha that's a huge important part of what I really keep as the ethos at Alpha is that we have a community of people from every walk of life, background, goal, age, gender, everything. But we are set up in a way that means that communication, questions, answers should be in some way, manner, or means at someone's fingertips.
Yep.
The 90% of the week, 24/7.
Yep.
But the thing is, I can offer it, but I can't make someone use it.
No.
And that's what I want to just add into that mix there of when your coach is offering a service on something, trust me, when I say this, we have so much that we do for our clients. And I feel very, very blessed that my lifestyle means that I can be sitting at 11 o'clock at night reading a fucking menopause journal because that's what my girls need.
Yep.
And actually something that I really love and my work are one and the same. So it doesn't feel like I'm putting 24 hours a day in. She will chin me a million times over and tell me to shut down, which I love as well. But the fact of the matter is, if your coach has gone to the trouble of offering you a service, I promise you they have reason for it.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yep.
And when it comes to open lines of communication between you, other clients, other coaches, your coach, types of communication with your coach, whether that be voice calls, video calls, messages, drop-in sessions, use them because trust me, your journey will be so much better for it.
Vanda, I would really like to know if there's anybody else like you out there. I really would.
Oh,
Because, and I
don't think there's any other idea like me.
Well, there is that point. Because I say this to you all the time, I think you take on too much, I really do. I think you take on, because you don't just take on our physical side, you take on our mental side. I always use the word holistic because that's what you do. You treat
That's
the
what I
whole
want it to be,
person.
though.
I've been to you where I've done no training. You and I have sat and I've either been crying, flapping my lid, chinning you.
Yep.
But whose other client would do that?
But it's been the right thing for you at that point in time, though.
But I know you've done that with other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that you've even went shopping with one of your clients.
She needed it. It was the right thing for her.
Because she needed that support and that help.
Yep.
But I also think that sometimes we need to help ourselves a wee bit.
Absolutely. And that's about utilising the services that are available to you.
Because when you do, like, you've got various podcasts that you can listen to again and again. You've touched on various subjects with different people.
Yep.
You have your hub on our page.
Yep.
There is recipes on our page.
Literally thousands of them now.
Sometimes when you get new people, other people that's been there a wee while, I'll go, why don't you look at the previous context?
And it's that reminder,
So
isn't it, to people?
sometimes you need to take a step back. There's things that I go back and look at. There's things I go back because sometimes I think us as your clients overcomplicate it.
I totally agree, and I think that's just human nature, isn't it? I think we overcomplicate things. But I think that leads on very, very nicely, by the way, Linda. Nice wee fucking segment into the next part of it, which is knowledge. So one of the next things that I think is absolutely imperative to being able to step up and be an absolute 5-star client is understanding how you can use the knowledge and the data and the information at your fingertips to your benefit.
Yep.
And one of the things that Linda is fucking sterling at that lots of other people aren't is you will record every aspect of what I ask you to record.
Yep.
And you will actually give it the time.
Yep.
So I don't think there's ever a trainerised workout that I see from you where everything's not fully recorded and there's not some notes to yourself or notes to me.
Yep.
When we were getting really into your nutrition, now I'm going to be very, very frank with everybody watching. I very rarely now need to worry about Linda's nutrition because when we worked on it at first, you properly recorded everything that I asked to the point now where if I took your MyFitnessPal off you, I'm pretty confident you could survive without it, still hit every target that I asked you to hit, but right the way through to your check-ins. When you write a check-in, you don't write me one-word answers.
No.
So see when you're filling in, let's say your Trainerize for your app for your workouts, guys, we use an app called Trainerize. It records all of your workouts, your plans, etc. What's your thought process on recording everything?
To keep me accountable.
And what do you want to see from it?
So I want to see, I don't overcomplicate my food at all.
You don't. You're so simplistic.
I don't. I'm really simple about my food, but that works for me. I don't prep anything. I don't have space to prep anything.
Yeah.
So my food tends to be samey, week in, week out, whatever. But it gets me to where I need to be.
Yep. And you're happy with it.
And I'm happy eating. I think I remember one time somebody called me that I ate too clean. You call it a kind of dirty keto, don't you?
Yeah,
Aye.
Linda is
Aye.
a protein fiend.
Yeah.
She is very much of the opinion when you look down
That's
at your
'cause I've got a
plate.
chicken supplier, obviously.
Yeah, when you look down at your plate, you would much rather see much more protein on your plate than some
Yep.
of the other stuff.
Yep.
You love your veggies,
Yep.
whereas a lot of like rice, pasta, bread, it's not your favourite foods.
No, it's not.
So you would rather spend your calories on some
Yep.
of the other stuff that you enjoy more.
It's when the carbohydrates go up, I struggle, don't I?
When you have a high carb day, you do struggle more.
Yeah, it does. When
Yeah.
you give me a refeed day, I'm like, oh my God, look what am I meant
She's
to
like,
eat?
do I have to? And I'm like, do you want some energy or not?
Yeah. And then I go, oh my golly, that was brilliant. It was great. Yeah, I get it now, Vanda. But it really is about that trust. You have to have that trust in that.
Yeah.
But you set that out. They're the non-negotiables. They have to be set in stone because they are going to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah.
You have to set them in stone. I think I said that on a thing recently to
Yeah,
someone
you did. Yep.
on our chat. If you set me a wee bit more steps than other folk, because when I was at work, I could have 14,000 a day. But just because I had hit 14,000 a day didn't mean that I didn't go to walk later on.
Yeah.
It's still the same to this day. I started really walking when it was lockdown, in between working in the hub and with the children and everything else.
And you really needed that space for yourself too.
That working during the lockdown and was
so stressful for everybody, wasn't
so
it?
stressful, and really stressful. And stressful because I was working in a different place. I had a different team round about me. I had different children, different parents. It just longer hours.
Yeah,
working
it was
bank
just a
holidays.
massive change.
Just was a huge thing.
And then you're trying to adjust to all of that, and then everything's going on in the world.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible not to find that stressful.
Huge impact. And when you weren't working in the hub, I then started going to walk and I would record things and I would send them out to my wee children and everything else. But I still to this day want to do more than what you set me, because that then becomes
If I say 15, Linda says 17. If I say 17, Linda says 20.
Because I have this conversation sometimes at home, just because you set 10 doesn't mean that you need to stop at 10. You could be doing 11.
And do you find when you're recording stuff and we're looking at that information and that data, do you find that that's a massive help to you in terms of being able to see both what your progress looks like? Because obviously data shows progress.
Yes.
It shows where you're at. Yep. But do you feel like it gives you that boost as well of, shit, actually, I'm way more capable than I thought I was? Because I love that for my data. I love being able to look at it and be like, and my brain was telling me, can you get past that number? But then the next day you look at your data, you look at your phone, you look at your laptop, you look at your iPad, whatever it might be, and you're like, oh shit, see that thing that I didn't think I could do? Like, there's black and white proof that I can.
There's sometimes my walk record is a jog.
It's because Linda walks with fury.
It's never a jog. It's always a walk. I do know that there is a couple who...
We have some runners in the team. Linda is not one of them.
No, definitely
She's a speed
not.
walker.
Nope. But well done to the runners.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but I think when you have that in front of you, that then gives you a base for what you plan to do your next day.
Yes.
If you're... I do find it strange because I think I can, I don't really have a chicken supplier, but I do like my chicken. I think if you can put a big pile of chicken in your plate, you're hitting your protein, no problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless if you've not had your breakfast. I'm a breakfast person. I need
that. Not everyone is.
Not
and
everybody
as
is.
you say, look at that plate and be conscious of it. But being able to be in that position where you have recorded long enough that you can take that step away from it, I think that is the gold standard.
Yeah.
So we spoke about this at one of our events not long ago, and I think a lot of the guys were a bit shocked about it, where I had said my goal for all of my clients is within about 24 months to be able to take any food recording app away from them and for them to still maintain towards their goals without having to track calories or protein. And I think a lot of them were a little bit like, right, how the fuck would we do that then? Because we wouldn't have access to all that information.
Yeah.
But within that 24 months, you should have learned enough about food and nutrition.
Yep.
Because if you're putting it in and you're plugging things in on a weekly, a daily, a 3 daily basis, however you works for you, you should be digesting that information and understanding it, you know. So for me, I can sit down and I know full well that for me, if I'm going to have a big one of my Vanda fried salads, Diane Martin loves a Vanda fried salad.
She does.
Because you have a Vanda fried salad in a fucking serving bowl. You do not have it in a plate because there is not enough space. I know what I want that to look like, but I also don't need to plug it into my fitness pal to know whether I'm going to get my protein, my fibre, my carbohydrates out of it. But using that data allows you to stop using it.
Yep.
That's the difference. But getting into that point, fucking hell, guys, I mean it, hand on heart. Just what you're asked to record it. What is measured gets managed. But if you want to stop tracking calories, you will only ever be able to stop tracking calories and get to your goal if you track them long enough to learn them.
Yep. But you have to get into that habit. You have to get into that good habit of doing that every day. And see if you have one day.
5-star client.
See when you have one day it doesn't work out for you, then you
move on.
You get past that and get back onto it. I haven't done that overnight.
No.
I haven't done that. I still struggle. You know, there are times you up my calories and it's got none at all to do. Wait, I want to be this. I want to. It's got none. I struggle with the volume of food.
Yeah.
Because
for you, there's also
my big,
there's both a physical and also very much a visual for you on a huge plate of food.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes both a mental and a physical challenge for you, because you know the way that you enjoy eating. Yeah. But you also know that when we up your calories that you have to change that, and that's a big mindset shift.
And I also found out,
but the difference is being 5-star or not is you will take the time to understand how you can make that work for you without just saying, I can't.
Exactly. But the flip side of that is if I then have something that, there's certain things that I would maybe go, I would have had that in the past, but I'm not having it now. I think because of the way my diet has changed.
You've definitely changed in your eating habits and your preferences as well.
I have to be very mindful of what I'm putting in my mouth, because then I end up ill.
Just feeling shite.
Yep.
Exactly.
I feel more tired. I feel bloated.
Fatigued, you feel bloated, you get upset stomachs.
I just feel horrible.
And it's just not worth your while.
And it's no worth the point of going, well, I'll just have that for the sake of having it.
So on that note, guys, about information, knowledge, tracking, 5-star for yourself and your coach. Utilise what you're fucking asked to do in terms of recording information, digesting knowledge. When your coach puts out information, whether that be your Facebook group, direct to your client group on a WhatsApp group, an email distribution list, a fucking podcast, whatever it might be, again, they're not doing it for you to skim over.
No.
They're doing it for you to digest. And I say this as heartily as I can. What you digest isn't just food. It's knowledge, it's information, it's your environment, it's right the way through to the attitudes and the behaviours of the people that you surround yourself with. So when you're in a group who is sitting there and they all want to up their standards, you should be letting that momentum and that tide keep you going as well, and allow yourself to do that. But guys, use every bit of knowledge and every bit of information that they can give you, because trust me, that 5-star client, they get their results. They do. And they get their results because they are that person who becomes the go-to, because they've took the time to digest that knowledge as well as all of the progress that they've had as well.
I think it's just part of the learning process.
It is.
And it does take you a wee while.
Yep.
But what I think you also need to do is you need to lean on your group. You
100%.
need to reach out.
There's never a point that how you're feeling no one else feels.
No.
Never a point.
If you put that question out, then maybe somebody else in the group is feeling the same. Someone will always answer you. Now, they may be answering you, go, oh, I can't do that, it's maybe too much. you find your way.
Yeah, but there's something that you're going to take from that.
Yeah.
What I loved about it is, and I think you'll probably remember it. We had a post that went onto our Facebook group a number of months ago, and it was probably the point in time where I realised that actually it was probably a very proud moment for me, and I don't say that easily because you know how I feel about it. I feel like there's always more to be given and more to be taken.
Yep.
But the lovely Kiva had put a message on saying, guys, I'm really, really struggling today. I've just had what can only be described as the worst day of all time. I'm so in my head. There is nothing about today that has felt good in any way, shape or form. And all I want to do is fall into all the bad habits that I've ever held in my life. And none of them are actually what I want to do. But my brain right now is telling me, I want the food, I want the drink, I want all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
What the hell do you guys all do? Because I am going to fall so far deep into shit right now. I don't know what to do. And it, literally within a matter of 20 minutes, there was a raft of messages, support, strategies, tools. There was people messaging saying, where is it you live? Do you want me to come and go out a walk with you? There was someone saying, right, like, I think it was Veronica's like that. What's your favourite book? Go and get it. Get on the couch. Get a cup of tea. Get the biggest blanket in the world around you and just zone out. Somebody else is saying, put your favourite music on and go and dance in the kitchen. Yep. Somebody else is like, who's your best pal? Get on the phone to her. Just tell her what's going on. Yep. But it was that way of 20 minutes and all of a sudden there was all these people supporting her, but also not supporting her, just saying, oh, hon, you okay? It was supporting her with actual strategy.
Yeah.
Like actual real life strategy. Yeah. Not just, are you okay, hon? Because I fucking hate that. I hate when someone puts something on their Facebook or their Instagram doing, oh, I've just had a shit day, and you get, you okay, hun? You okay, hun? You okay, hun? DM you okay, hun? DM you. No. How's about give her some actual solutions?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what we have in Alpha. Yeah. People who are willing to put the arm around the shoulder, but they're also going to give you a solution, and they're going to absolutely chin you if you don't bother your arsehole to actually utilise the solution that you've been given.
But you also have people out who maybe don't talk about it, but reach out privately to people. Yes. Because they're maybe quiet in the group. Yep. The Facebook can be quiet because people are maybe more on their Instagram and whatever else. Yep. But you know the people that are normally in Facebook. For me, if there's somebody quiet, then I'm going to... I do send out a message, but I know there is folk who generally do that.
And again, the 5-star client communication, engaging with people when they seem off themselves.
Go to the groups are very much about them, each other.
They have a different community as well as the bigger community.
They have a different community because they're in those groups all the time. But it doesn't mean to say that if I reach out in the Facebook that somebody's not going to reply to that. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? There's some people in the group who've never met me, vice versa.
Aye. But they know who Linda is.
But you would still be putting out, here's what works for me. Yeah. And you just share what you've learned. Yeah. It's like, especially when it's leading up to the photo shoot. Yeah. What's the expectations, talking about the outfits, all the simple things. But you want to share what you've already learned and been through, so that you want to share because our goals are all different. Yep. We're on our own paths, our own roads, but we can still support each other. Yeah.
And that's it. You know, I think it's about really understanding as well, to be that absolute 5-star client, you need to understand that you are part of a wider group. Yep. And that being part of that wider group requires you to engage in an open, honest, transparent and supportive way. And if you feel like you're in a headspace where what you could put out to the group isn't open, honest, transparent and supportive, knowing when to take the step back and do something much more independently and one-to-one with me. Yep. Because you know full well that actually that's not going to be in that positive ethos for everyone. Yep. But also knowing full well where just being honest that you're having a shit time can be just as powerful as bringing someone up. To your point about reaching out separately, Arlene got Cheerleader of the Year last year. Mm-hmm. Why? Because actually one of the things that she does extremely powerfully is she's very good at reading when someone just is off their game,
Yep.
but will not call it out in a mass group. She will drop that individual message just to say, honey, do you know what? You were in group today, you were in class today, or you posted something on the group today and it's just not really like you. Is there anything you need? But actually, total transparently from me, Arlene does that with me. The amount of times Arlene's been like, literally, have you taken your tablets? Have you taken your epilepsy pills? When was the last time you slept for more than 5 hours? You know, she chinned me the other day asking me how many hours a day I was actually technically in the gym. And I was like, we're averaging about 14 just now. And she's like, that, if that's not changed in the next 4 weeks, me and you are having a chat. And I'm like, honey, like that's just short-term pain. And she's like, it fucking better be, because if it's not, she's like, we're going to have a word, because that you can't give us your best if you're running at that all the time.
I remember saying to you when you were opening the layer, I hope you're going to get some more time to yourself.
You did say that, yes. And I'm like,
and I do chin you too.
You do. You're very good at it.
I'm on your back quite a lot. And there's sometimes you
but
maybe
I think that's why it works for us as a group, because actually that is exactly the level of expectation that we set across the board. There is no one that we set that level of expectation differently to across the board, in terms of, it doesn't matter if you're an online client, a group client, a one-to-one client, a couples client, if you're me, if you've been in the door for 2 minutes, if you've been in the door for 2 years. The expectation is that we all hold each other to account on making sure that we are taking care of ourselves. We just don't have it any differently.
But we follow your lead in that, because you lead by example. I mean, you've dropped to 1,200 calories just to show somebody how crap it was.
and
you lasted how many days? 2 or 3 days?
It was about 3 days, and I was like, guys, this is shit.
You lead by example. There you put out a post recently, and I privately messaged you going, what a pile of crap that was, Vanda. I don't believe a word of that. And you post your journey as well, and you're honest about, and you're straight to the point about it.
Yeah, because for me, that's what I expect from you guys. And that kind of leads on to the next part of it anyway that I wanted to touch on. For me, when it comes to someone who's a 5-star client, one of the biggest things that I think is really important for people to understand is being able to communicate expectations. And actually, what are expectations, what are boundaries, and what are the absolute basics? And I think those are very, very different. And I think one of the things that you're very, very good for in terms of both yourself, your journey physically, mentally, emotionally, but also as being part of the client base, is that you never, ever, ever show up and don't set an expectation that is powerful enough that it leads you towards your goals. You know, you're very, very good at, if I set you an expectation, you will ask enough about it to understand it. You will take the time to accept it and understand where it's coming from and all that kind of stuff. But that level of expectation, you are very, very good at. It is a very much a two-way street. And you are always like that. See, in terms of expectations across your world, how has that changed over the last 12 months?
I would say my expectations have changed because obviously I have a wee bit more time now in my hands. Leading up to finishing work was a huge mind-blowing
mindfuck.
It was crazy, because I generally didn't know. I finished work one day, and because I normally have the summer holidays off, I thought, I'm going to look at this as my summer holidays. I'm going to do what I normally do. But then I was going, I need to do this and I need to do that. And people round about were going, no, you don't. You have loads of time. You don't need to be rushing to cram that into those 6.5 week holidays.
So you've got this level of expectation, but you felt like everyone else had a very different one of you. Right,
You don't need to do that. What you need to do is take a step back, slow down a bit. I'm not known for slowing down. I'm not known for anything. She's shite at it. Yeah, I'm rubbish at it.
Honestly, I'm like, rest, and she's like,
even doing the 90 seconds between her, I'm getting better at that.
That's getting better too. That's getting better too.
But I think my mindset has changed dramatically, because I had to really, I mean, it was my choice to leave work with a twisted arm, I
Yeah,
suppose,
yep,
because
I
of the
get
way
that,
things
yep.
happened. But I think my mindset has changed dramatically. I'm no longer willing just to do stuff
Just cause.
just because.
So that level of expectation that you're set on yourself in
Yeah.
those terms, how do you feel in day-to-day life as a client you bring that to real life in your health and your fitness journey?
So like going to the gym tomorrow,
Yep.
I would know what day I was doing. And I would know, okay, today I'm going to try. So whether that be up the weight, up the reps, lower the reps, up the weight, whatever, whether I'm doing that
Yep.
progressive overload, I would know that I was going to try that.
Yep.
On
That's
that.
already expected of yourself.
That is my expectation. Ben surprised me the other day, but I
Massively.
knew that I wanted to go in and try that. It wasn't pretty at all. It wasn't brilliant.
Not every rep needs to be pretty.
But I pushed through. I thought at one point a lady was going to come to my rescue, but I was fine. It was okay.
I mean, there was
like,
one leg in the
all
air.
I'm
or whatever.
okay. Just get the leg up in the chair and that'll help you a bit. But it's even when I go a walk, there's certain bits of my walk I want to be faster. I want to get to that quicker. I want to get to the next point quicker. I like when I can go into that and it goes, your fastest walk today.
Your fastest walk today.
Fastest walk today, or your fastest lap or whatever. I quite like that visually I can see that. I like when I'm on the app that I look and go, I usually look the night before, actually.
So
to see what I'm doing.
what we're basically saying is you're bringing that to life by forward planning those expectations all the time.
Yeah.
You're always thinking that one step ahead of what future Linda
Yeah.
is going to be doing.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Because I know that there are things that work really well for me. I know the things that, as you say, I have that mind-muscle connection.
You're very good.
If I'm not getting that sensation, I always think, and we had this chat before we came, I always feel that when you get a new programme, you kind of go kind of hell for leather a wee bit.
You do, because it's
till you get to
exciting
it.
at that point.
And then you come in and you're a bit broken because you always ask, how's the body feeling today? And you're like, speak to me when I come out the toilet. I'll speak to you in a minute. I speak
Pre-workout
to you. And we have a chat about it. But I personally think when I've trained, if there's not a bit of me going, I'm feeling that, then I've not done the work.
Whether it be weight, whether it be form, whether it be something.
Yep.
Like you should have a sensation across where you're attempting to work and why. And if you're not, then you're expecting different.
Yep. I firmly believe that when I started, I just worked out.
Yes, and we've spoken about this in terms of that, and that's probably the last part of expectation element that I think is probably a really good point for us to finish up that section on is, guys, I want you all to set yourself the expectation that you don't go to the gym, you work out and you train.
You train.
You know, those
with
are
intent.
different things. Have the intention, have the expectation that you should be doing something, whatever it is that you love, whatever it is that you've chosen to go down the route of.
Or challenge
that you've set yourself, you should go in with the expectation that your body will intrinsically change. Your mindset will change, your fitness will change, your strength will change, whatever area that it is that you are focusing in on. But guys, that's not going to happen if you don't go in with the intention of working out in a way that will allow that to happen. So when you go into the gym and you basically just, for want of a better term, just fanny the fuck about, you know, you use the 5 kilo dumbbells because that's what you've used for the last 26 weeks. Okay, congratulations. Like, what's fucking changing then? Yeah. Why does your body, your fitness, your mindset, your well-being have any interest in changing if you're not changing the stimulus going in?
Yep.
It won't do. Go in with intent. And to your point exactly, don't go into the gym. Yeah. Go in with the intention to train to reach that goal that you want to get to.
Yep.
If that is confidence in the gym, go in. Put the headphones on. See if you only last in that gym 6 minutes. Fan-fucking-tastic. Well fucking done. Go back out, see the next day, headphones on, go in. Intention is 10 minutes. And then 15. And then go in and do a full session at 40 minutes on your own. But go in with fucking intention that, do you know what? I will and I can allow myself to feel confident and comfortable in this space. And I guarantee you guys, I'm not saying this just to big myself up. But see, if you are not confident, walk in my doors and I guarantee you that there will be 10 people standing there with a big hug, a big welcome saying, mate, well the fuck done for opening that door, laughing with you about something, and by the end of a 40-minute session, I guarantee you're going to feel comfortable.
But the other side, I went to a new gym last summer.
You did.
Didn't know anybody, still don't really know anybody. But my focus is me.
Me versus me.
Yep, my focus
Love
is me. There is people that I sometimes go and help out because I think, oh my golly, what the heck is that you're doing?
Please let me help you.
Let me help you. There is people that came and asked, and I've said, listen, I'm not professional, but here's how I would do that. Share that knowledge.
Yep.
But the other thing is, you have to want it, Vanda.
Oh, you do. You do.
Have to want it.
Like, don't tell me, like, I said this to you guys the other day, and this is where I probably sound like a black-hearted bitch. My best pal constantly says, she's like that, you've fucking got a heart of stone. And I'm like, I do and I don't, right? See, when it comes down to it, if you're going to cry to me, if you're going to complain to me, if you're going to moan to me, if you're going to vent to me, if you're going to tell me how upset you are about how your body looks, how it moves, how it feels, your lack of confidence, and then I say to you, okay, this is what I want you to invest in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of energy, in terms of your propensity to change, and you say, oh, that's too much. You don't hate yourself. You don't hate it enough.
Yeah.
I've been there. Mm-hmm. I have sat on a shower floor in tears after looking at my body in a mirror. I know what it feels like to hate what you see.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't hate what you see if you're not willing to change it. So if you genuinely hate what you see, guys, hate how you feel, hate the lack of confidence that you've got to change what you put in to get a change of what you get coming out. But see, if you're not willing to make the change, you're not at rock bottom yet. And it took me years to get to rock bottom. I'm not going to deny it. I've been where a lot of people are right now, where they've got no intention of changing. But I look back now and I know full well that what I thought was my rock bottom wasn't my rock bottom at that point. To your point about going through those depressive phases, been there, done that 100%. And it's not something I've actually spoke about before, but on this, but for me, I had a very short phase of being medicated, and it was one of the only things that allowed me to untangle the thoughts that were going through my head that made me feel that way. But the fact is that was actual true rock bottom. Yeah. But if somebody had asked me 12 months before that how I felt, I would have told them I was at rock bottom. Yeah. But I wasn't there. And I know I wasn't there because I had no intention of change at that point. Yeah. When you are at rock bottom, you absolutely have the intention of change because you will not and cannot allow yourself to remain there.
I mean, remember a year past in January, I woke up thinking I was having a heart attack and I was having
palpitations and all that.
Severe panic attack that I'd never ever had. Yeah. And then I had 9 of them. Yeah. I was off work for like 15 weeks because I couldn't cope. And you'd set a walking challenge and I was walking like a manic lady. Yeah. Because it was the thing that kept me focused. Aye. And kept me focused. It allowed
you that focus to have to process your thinking and get it done. Yeah. So here's what I would say we've covered today. 5-star clients do a multitude of things. What do? They communicate openly, honestly, transparently, and regularly. Yep. They do not wait days and days on end with something in their mind in order to ask the question. And in the question area, knowledge. They learn. Yep. Start to love learning. Want to know the why. Yep. Become the most curious person in the room. The most curious person in the room who learns and learns and learns and learns and learns is the client who's going to get the most results out of the back of it. They know, they've got knowledge, they track things properly. I shouldn't need to be in that space where I'm saying to you, have you done your check-in? It should be the fucking norm for you. if you're not doing your check-in with me and we're not having that weekly conversation in terms of that level of data and knowledge and detail, then quite honestly, you're missing out on a huge benefit to your own progress. And then expectations. Set expectations of yourself that scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That feel high enough that they are that next level.
It has to be about you, Vanda.
Yeah.
Not
What's your next level?
Yep. Not your pal, not what they're doing. It has to be about you. You have to concentrate on you. You can still support everybody else around about you, but this they've came to you or they've came to another PT for a reason.
Let us do our bit.
Exactly. But they have to do their bit in return.
Absolutely. Let us do our job.
Yeah.
All we are going to ask you to do in return is exactly what we are asking you.
Yeah.
If you follow that plan, we guarantee you results.
Yep.
So just to finish off before we just close this amazing podcast, which you've been phenomenal on, talk to the guys just very briefly about what kind of results have you had over the last 2 years since joining?
So mentally, definitely stronger. I mean, you and I have had quite a few chats about my mental health, and I'm not ashamed to talk about my mental health in any shape or form.
Absolutely not.
I think the more people that talk about, the better it is.
Absolutely agree.
Definitely. And being medicated, I don't care to mention how many times. Not medicated right now. Some folk think I'm medicated all the time, but no, it's just me. And
mate, I'm going to be honest. I think both of us probably should be.
Yeah, I know. But I'm sure there's something out there that we would be labelled as, but who cares? I'm just going to be me.
We are our amazing kind of mental.
I personally don't think I'm a 5-star client. I just think I'm a client who just really is so bloody stubborn and disciplined that that it keeps me really focused on what I want and where I want to be. I don't really focus much on my weight. I'm so fortunate that I didn't really need to be losing tons and tons. I think I'm so fortunate that that's just my build. Yeah. My weight does fluctuate, but you and I just kind of deal with that. I just don't really. If I like what I see in the mirror, then that's what I talk about.
You've lost a really good amount of body fat though, in terms of composition of your body.
I'm starting to see the definition coming through. My photo shoot in November just blew my mind. Blew my mind. And I was injured for a good 8 months of that. We had to train differently and everything else.
And
just the difference in my body composition was just incredible.
And let's just add on to this before I forget, for someone who is 3 times 20.
3 times 20.
Okay. What was your max, 1 rep max rack pull the other day?
That would be 140. 140, which just blew my mind.
See, for the rest of you that are telling me right now, I can't, it's too heavy. Get it fucking done.
Yeah. That just kind of blew my mind because those compound things were never on my agenda.
No.
Never on my agenda when I started the gym those few years ago. They were something that I did as part of a strength training with Lisa, who she'll contest that my language was atrocious during that. But
and
no
then
wonder.
You joined me of all fucking people.
But no wonder.
God.
Wonder. So it was really Lisa's fault.
apologise.
Let's just blame Lisa for all that language. But no wonder. I was like, you want me to do what with that bar? You want me to get into the big boy section?
And I cannot wait to get Lisa back on board, by the way. She's just rejoined and it's going to be a very interesting 6 months with Lisa and Linda under your wing.
I hope she just blows it out the park. I really do.
I don't hope, I know she will.
She's so strong, so strong. But it was never on my agenda, and they were the things that I missed. And now I'm back doing them. I'm just loving the training.
Amazing.
But you and I do tweak the training, which I really quite like.
We do.
And once you explain, I definitely want to keep that, then that's what we follow.
Absolutely.
That's what we follow.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we ask all of our wonderful clients and guests on this podcast one question. And this is where you get to have a little bit of a mini rant.
All right,
which
okay.
you're shit at. I mean,
I'm
you're
going
shit
to
at.
struggle with this big time, and I don't know what I'm going to say.
in our world of health, fitness, well-being, all of that type of stuff, what's the one thing that you just want to tell to fuck off? It just grates the fuck out you, grinds your gears.
Okay.
What is it? You can only choose one, Linda.
Jeez, it's going to be difficult, Vanda.
I know. Got to pick one, no man.
Vanda. Any chess session. Any chess session. There are also triple 20. This is it. No chess session is going to help that at all. So I'm just saying that out loud.
I fucking love it.
So bench, whether that be close grip, wide grip, incline, decline, whatever, get that to fuck. Just get it
There
to
we
fuck.
go, guys. The one thing in health and fitness that should disappear is all forms of chest day.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really honest, there is a lot of guys that are going to watch this and do, what the fuck is wrong with her? Right, okay. So, and very last question for you. There's going to be people watching this who are clients and have digested all of this and are loving life and just ready to celebrate with you. But there's also those girls and guys out there who are sitting, not feeling their best right now, and they're thinking, do I reach out to someone? What would you tell them is that one big reason that they should reach out to somebody right now?
Because you want it. If you are thinking about it, then you must want to change. So to me, reach out to somebody. Talk to your friend, talk to somebody you know that trains, go to a gym, see if the gym is a fit for you, but reach out to somebody.
Because you want it.
Because you want it.
I
If
love
you're
that.
thinking it, then you want a change. So
Absolutely.
you've got to reach out and do it. If I can do it, MD can do it.
100%,
I
Miguel.
really can.
I got
just
this.
need to have a wee bit of self-belief and a wee bit of trust
And a fuck ton of stubbornness.
and a huge ton of stubbornness to get to be selfless.
Amazing. So guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. As you can tell, Linda, regardless of what she says, is an absolute 5-star client. I can throw anything at this woman, and I know full well that with mutual joint support, guidance, and trust in each other, that we can achieve absolutely anything.
Yep.
And I know full well, guys, that it can be very, very hard to put your faith in someone, especially when it comes to coaching in personal training, because exactly that word there, personal, it can feel extremely, extremely overwhelmingly personal at first. But I guarantee you this, when you get started, you will never stop.
Yep.
Because there is nothing more addictive than feeling fucking amazing in yourself.
And you'll want more.
And you'll just want more. So guys, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have anything that you would like us to explore more on this topic or another topic, then reach out, drop a comment below, drop us a DM, absolutely anything. Linda, thank you so much. That was
thank you.
fucking amazing.
Wasn't as nervous as I thought
See?
it was going to be.
Fucking I just get you doing shit that you never done before. It's easy, that's all we do. But guys, thank you again. And as I say, there is many more episodes that have been, and there is many more episodes coming. But I would love, love, love to hear what you would like to see next, or who you would like to see on next. And let's make sure that we are all being 5-star clients for the future. Thank you so much, Linda.
Good luck, everybody.